As a homeschooling mom of 6 myself, I understand that juggling homeschooling and life can be a challenge. And notice that I didn't say problem, because the energy behind problem is very different than the word challenge. Challenge, you want to rise up to the challenge. In this video, I will be sharing with you some powerful tips for maintaining a positive mindset throughout the day, using a combination of some mindset technique and practical strategies for actually judging homeschooling and life. Tip number 1 is to focus on creating a routine rather than a set minute by minute schedule. So I've been there, I've done the whole managers of the home system where I had every kid and a post-it note and everything scheduled in the day down to 15-minute increments. And that, for me personally, was just miserable. And I understand that this might not be the case for everybody. Maybe it's just people like me, my type personality, where you commit something to paper, you want to follow through. And sometimes that's just not possible because it's not just dependent on us, it's dependent on everybody else in the family. So instead, I have found that it is much more manageable to have a routine rather than a set schedule. So for example, for us, with the kids, when it comes to the kids, they get up, they brush their teeth, they comb their hair, they clean their room, right? Then they have breakfast, and after that we have Bible time. And that Bible time has its own little routine when it comes to Bible reading and poetry and word of the day and some other kind of motivational thing, our quote of the day. And then they go on to their school day, and that has a routine. They do math, they do writing, they do vocabulary and spelling, they read from their book list. So it's a routine. And then after that we have lunch, and then we have our afternoon routine. They have their free time, the laundry time, the cleanup time, the dinner time. Again, after dinner time, there's a routine. There's cleaning up, getting ready for bed, any final chores that need to be done, right? Walking the dog, and evening read aloud time. And so if something has to change for one day, whatever part of the day that is impacting, we can just pick up with the next set of routines after that, once we get home. And as a little mindset tie-in, I would say to make sure you visualize how you want your day to run. Make sure that before you even get up, you think about this. You consciously think about what kind of a day you want, how you want to behave, how you want to act, how you want to talk, all of these things. Really think about it and focus on it and blow it up in your mind's eye. Really experience that. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel in that vision of what you want the day to look like. And a brief explanation for that is that you get what you focus on. We have billions of bits of information all around us, but our mind can only hold about 7 things at a time. So what 7 things are you going to pick to focus on? Because whatever you pick to focus on, you will start to see opportunities for that. And if you're focusing on negative things, then guess what? You're going to see opportunities to see more negative things, or to dwell on it, or continuously get worse instead of continuously getting better. Whereas if you focus on what you want, then you're going to see all of the opportunities in order to achieve that. So I think that's very important when it comes to this point. Point number 2, this is a bit of a hobby horse for me. I'm sure you probably heard me talk about it before, and that's running your home like a franchise. Yes. Now, I'm not saying running your home like a business, because let's face it, a lot of businesses, small businesses, go out of business because they don't know how to delegate things very well, or the owner suffers burnout. Does that sound familiar? Because there's also homeschooling burnout. Part of that is having a system in place and also delegating in a way that franchises do it, not just maybe businesses where they assign one person to be the jack of all trades. You really want to do it like the franchises do it and delegate each task to the person that has the lowest skill level possible for that job. For example, you wouldn't have your teens folding towels when your 5-year-old can fold a towel. So you always want to think about each task that needs to get done and think, okay, who has the lowest skill level in the house that can effectively do this task, so that you free up those that are more capable, have more capabilities to do harder things. That way you're not just relying on your oldest kids to do everything because you've shown them how to do it, you've trained them, right? And so you heavily rely on them. Instead, you want to make sure you have that good kind of team spirit where you're delegating in a smart way and incorporating those younger employees to do the tasks that they can. It helps them to feel more connected and a part of the family and that they're contributing, and it also frees up the older kids to focus on the things that only they can focus on. So number 2, very important, is to delegate like franchises do. And the mindfulness technique that I would recommend for this point is to practice the method of awareness. And that's just that. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just being aware of your behavior and what's going on. Just kind of stepping a little bit, disassociating a little bit outside of yourself and being able to notice or realize like, okay, I'm starting to get overwhelmed. I'm starting to get crabby. I'm snipping at people. I don't like how I'm talking to people, right? So having that awareness to think, okay, I need to kind of step back, what's going on, and focus on the very next thing. A lot of times when we get overwhelmed is because we're too chunked up, like they say in NLP. You're focusing on all the things that need to get done, and so you get overwhelmed. But instead, if you chunk down and stay present and just think about what is the very next thing that I need to be doing right now, what is the very next thing, what can I be doing right now in order to have a successful afternoon or morning, what is the most important thing? If you just chunk it down to the very next item, that's going to help you not to feel overwhelmed. So practicing the method of awareness, just being aware of the present moment, staying in the present, and being aware that if you don't like the way that you're behaving, to take a step back and try to figure out what's going on. What are you thinking? Your thoughts control your emotions control your behavior, and your behavior controls the environment that you are setting up for the whole family, and that's going to give you your outcomes. So it's very important to go all the way up here and be, okay, let me take a pause for a moment. What am I thinking that's causing me to feel maybe overwhelmed or causing me to feel angry or annoyed, and then go from there. Number 3 is to embrace the interruptions, because there will be interruptions. In fact, I am recording this video right now in my local library because it is very noisy in our house right now. My husband is redoing the floors. So I could go in the direction of maybe being upset that my oldest son isn't doing his full school load every day because he's helping my husband, but instead I could reframe it to, well, he is learning so much about how to put in flooring. And even though it may make me a little uncomfortable to see him using some of these tools, my husband assures me that it's all very safe and he's right there with him and there's plenty of safeguards in place. But he's learning. He's learning how to do all of these things, and that is the lesson right now. So whenever you have these moments of, okay, we're deviating a little bit here from the homeschooling plan, but how can we make the most of this? How can we make this an educational opportunity or a teachable moment? That's really going to go a long way. And my mindful tip to go along with this point is to have some sort of gratitude journal. Now, I use an app for this. I love this, the 5-Minute Journal app. And every day I wake up and I type in 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. It really helps me start the day in such a great mood, with really great positive mindset, just thinking about all of my blessings. And it could be small things. Some days maybe it's just a cup of coffee or quiet time or a good book. Other days might be more exciting things, better things, but you can always write down maybe your health or your kids' health, that you have a spouse, whatever it may be. But having that gratitude journal, focusing on those things first thing in the morning, is really going to help you have a better mindset for the day. Tip number 4 is to involve your kids in the homeschool planning, resources, etc. What I mean by this is have them participate in it. For example, I have my kids make their own vocabulary flashcards, which actually are much more effective than just regular flashcards. I'll talk about this in another video. But them participating in their education, it really does help out. If you have to print certain things, maybe let them cut them out or help you with the laminating process. If you're putting together binders for something, let them help out in the process. But them being able to sort of contribute this way to their education just makes them more accountable and excited about it. And last but certainly not least, tip number 5 is to prioritize self-care. I know as moms, sometimes we just want to put ourselves and our needs on the back burner and just focus on helping everybody else. But you know, once upon a time, I was a flight attendant, and we would tell people that if something were to go down when it came to the oxygen mask, even though you are traveling with small children and your natural instinct may be to put the mask on them first, you need to put the mask on yourself first, because if you were to pass out, you are no help to anybody else. So you have to put the mask on yourself first. So same thing with self-care. If you are depleted and empty, you will have nothing to pour out for anybody else. So this is very important. Dale Carnegie talks about this in one of his books, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And it's a section on how housewives can stay young and vibrant. And that is every day taking a few minutes to absolutely relax. Relax your eyes, relax all of your muscles, practice some deep breathing. We take such shallow breaths throughout the day, and we don't drink enough water, all of those things. Sometimes we're not eating well. So we really need to prioritize taking a few minutes to just relax and just be aware and mindful of how we are taking care of ourselves. I know for me, exercise is a very big point. I notice a big difference on the days that I don't exercise versus the days that I do. Big difference. And it's amazing because my workouts typically are just 10 to 15 minutes. And I also walk a couple times a day. I walk the dog at our nearby park. So it doesn't have to take long at all. And I understand it can be very challenging when you have younger kids or it's wintertime and it's cold outside. But there are so many apps today where you can customize, personalize a workout plan just for you based on your preferences. What kind of exercises do you want to do? What areas you want to target? All of that, it's available today for us on apps. It's very convenient. So I would really encourage you to take some time every day for self-care. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Now, if you're struggling to maintain a positive mindset and need a little extra support, I'm currently taking a limited amount of coaching spots a month. I'm talking maybe just 5 a month. We'll see how this goes. Visit my website to fill out a questionnaire and find out more about how I can help you create a successful homeschooling experience for your family. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will leave a link down below with more resources, and I think you would really like this video, but YouTube's algorithm thinks you would like this video instead. So whichever one you choose, I will see you there. Bye for now.